Thank you very much. For Finovate veterans, you of course already know that ValidSoft is the security software company that is at the intersection of authentication and telecommunications. Everything we do is real time, everything is based around telecommunications, and all of our solutions work with what everybody has on them today, no doubt, which is a mobile or a smartphone. As payments and banking continue to converge onto the phone, to the mobile, so too will fraud. But solutions to combat fraud must fit the mobile paradigm. And so what we're going to have a look at today is just one example of our SMART platform. SMART stands for Secure Mobile Architecture for Real-Time Transactions. As I said, it's just one example. This platform can do quite a few things. So we're going to have a look at how to securely activate and then protect a mobile wallet using low-friction in-band voice biometrics provided by a SMART plugin. We're going to enrol using a combination of in-band voice biometrics and out-of-band strong authentication, and the reason we're doing that is to ensure that it's my cards being enrolled on my wallet and not my cards being enrolled on your wallet. Now that's not to insinuate that you look shifty or anything, but you never know. So what we're going to do then is then see the ongoing authentication of the wallet using in-band biometrics only, as well as a number of invisible factors. So why in-band biometrics? Because there is no phone call. If there's no phone call, there's no cost, there's no friction, and the quality is based on high definition, and this thing will work about dynamically. So typically landline phones, GSM, operates at 8,000 hertz. We can operate at 48,000 and higher. Why the SMART platform? The SMART platform because it is a dynamic model and it has fallback. So what effectively we do is we eliminate false negatives, i.e. the blocking of a legitimate customer. That's always been the bane of biometrics, but by using a platform that can dynamically drop back to things like out-of-band authentication, we can get rid of those false negatives. Biometric engines alone cannot do that. Okay, so what we can see up there, we can see Dan's smartphone. He's actually downloaded the app, which has got our plugin. That's actually talking to our SMART platform server in Amsterdam. So even though everything looks like it's actually processing on the phone, nothing is. It's all working on a server in Europe. So on the right, we can also see up there a number of things that are going to be occurring in the background. Okay, so that's just so we can see what's happening in real time. All right, so let's activate the wallet. What's going to happen is that Dan will be prompted for a very short speech. He will speak, that'll be transmitted to a server in Europe. That will prompt a phone call to this phone. That's the out-of-band authentication to make sure it's only this phone. And when Dan confirms that, it will then enrol the biometric. Okay, Dan, you want to fire that off?
Activate application.
Okay, so that data is now being transmitted. So what we should get now is a phone call from Amsterdam.
To complete enrollment, please press the digit 2 on your keypad. Enrollment successful. Please continue your Smart Wallet activation process.
Okay, we're now enrolled, and if Dan just presses OK in a second, we'll see that we're actually into the wallet. Okay, we're in. That's it. We only ever have to do that once, because now we've fingerprinted this phone, and we've enrolled Dan's voice, and you can see all of those checks there. We've actually done pseudo device checks, which is checking for call forward. We've done device duplication and blacklist. We've done voice duplication and blacklist checking. We've done what's called an incremental contextual enrolment, which means Dan didn't have to repeat anything 3 times. He only had to say it once. We will build up the model as we actually authenticate. And finally, we've done the out-of-band authentication. So now what we're going to do is actually authenticate ourselves to the wallet as we would going forward. So you'll see now that it's in a different status. It's now just saying log on. Right, once again, it's going to ask Dan to say activate application. That's all. And that's all that will actually happen, or what appears to happen.
Activate application.
So analysing the voice. Voice is good. And we're into our wallet. Okay, it's as simple as that. So there's no call, there's no cost, there's no friction. All he has to do is a short utterance to the phone, and it was all processed on a server. So just to recap, low friction, high definition voice biometrics that require no phone call once enrolled, a dynamic authentication model, meaning that there is always a fallback option, either in band or out of band, which means that you can remove false negatives. One of the things that's always held biometrics back, right? Never block a legitimate customer. Incremental contextual enrolment. No more saying repeat 3 times. You only have to do it once, because when you start authenticating, that's when we build the model up. Dynamic sampling rates, 48,000 hertz and above compared with 8,000. So we're using high definition voice. Removal of replay attacks, because we've got the handset fingerprinted, right? We don't have to worry about replay attacks and doing liveness checks. Dynamic threshold adjustment, which means we're not just having a set score. We can move the pass mark up and down based on context. And that comes to the last part, using contextual biometrics. Rather than just having a score, biometric alone, use the context of the real world. So a lot of things happened there, but there wasn't much to see, and that's the way we believe it actually should operate. So thank you very much for your attention.